welcome to Adulting with Novia. I'm Novia, and today we're going to do a little crafting. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, hope you're having a good week. So today we're going to do a little crafting. Do a little indulge in a little planner craft, shall we say. So we know by now that I got my Estelle A5 size Airy cover, and I love it. Like, I love the cover. I love the quality. It's great. But you know, I have actually been missing like a traveler's notebook. Like, usually I typically fuss around and think about buying a traveler's notebook for all the notebooks that I want to carry, to justify all the notebooks that I buy that I feel like will change my life. But as we know, like most covers for bound books like this just have slots. You can get 2 if you're lucky. But I want to be able to carry my Stology for planning, my Kikuyo Campus high grade Mio paper book, and my goal book, and possibly even another notebook that will be more like a commonplace notebook, which will more than likely be another Kikuyo Campus notebook, because they're so thin, and as we established in my last video, I absolutely love this paper. So I wanted to try, like, I want to carry all of them, all the things, but as you can tell, like, I'm limited in the slots that I have. Like, maybe, yeah, I can probably put one there and one there, but it doesn't sit nice and flat and neat. And when you close it, like, something's is bound to, you know, come out and stick out like this way. So what I thought would be a really clever idea that I actually saw from the YouTube channel Spellbound Notes was to create a like traveler's notebook converter for this cover. So the cover will stay the same, but you're making an insert to put in here that'll have all the strings of like a traditional traveler's notebook like this. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you stick it in. This actually fits. Ain't that something? Here, let me take this off, because this is like brand spanking new from Paper House. And I bought this forever ago and I never used it. But just so you can understand what the heck I'm talking about, like, you would make the converter out of a completely separate fabric that has the strings in it for notebooks, and you would slide it in like this on this side, slide it in like this, excuse you, on the other side. This is not going to fit perfectly because it's not supposed to. Oh, actually it will. Well, holy shit. And then you put your notebooks inside. So then you would have let me move this, traveler's notebook. Like so. See what I mean, Jelly Bean? And it fits really nice, snug, evenly. Well, holy shit. If I had known that I could just use a standard like notebook cover and stick it in here, like, but that's what we're doing. Except I want to put more strings in there for more notebooks. That is crazy. Hack alert. So in case you guys have like any extra standard size notebooks that you're not using, and you want to have your A5 cover basically have like a traveler's notebook like feel, shove it inside of this cover. This cover in particular, I can't vouch for any other A5 covers, but maybe it'll work on my Moterm too. Hold on. Okay, so I have my Moterm from the spring, the green one that I just transferred out of. Let's see you. This would be wild. This would be an incredible hack. Let's see if we can get this out. Holy guacamole. Go to the side, please. Thank you. Let's move these up. and see. Now the Motern's it's a little tight. Let's see. Will you? It's not as roomy. No. The Motern isn't as roomy, it doesn't feel like, as the Aura Estelle cover. But we're gonna try and see what it looks like. It takes some, yeah, it's definitely not good for the Motern. It's too big, the standard size. Like, it's too tall. It's like right up on the stitching. Like, width-wise, it's perfect, but it's way too tall. And then you close it. Here, I'll show you on this side. It's wrinkly-dinkly. Let's see, can I manipulate this a bit more? Maybe. So we can finagle it. All right, so it looks fine from the top. Decent from the bottom. Let's see what it's like when I open it. Yeah, no, this isn't. Maybe, I don't know. No, it feels weird. It's like bubbling and waving all over the place. Like, I don't know if you can see it pop here. So now it's here, now it's there. So not Motern, but definitely you can do that with the Aura Estelle Airy cover. But that's a really neat hack. I love little surprises like that. But anyway, what we're doing is we're making the converter by hand. That actually matches this kind of. Because for some reason, like this summer, I have like this strawberry and cream type colorway stuck in my head. So let me put this guy away and then we'll get started. All right, so first we're going to gather our materials. So you just need a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it's just a regular piece of printer paper, something special. On this, I actually kind of pre-planned like where I wanted to put the holes for my strings. An owl or something you can poke neat holes into. A seam ripper. I don't know. I always have a seam ripper just in case. Scissors. Elastic for your strings. I'm going to use this really, really bright red because I don't have like anything that's like this deep blue red that the cover is. And utensils, pencil, pen, and this is felt. It's just regular old felt from JOANN's. I have an overabundance of it because it's I think it's about 60 inches wide. So I bought a 12 inch width and its length is 60 inches. I'm not going to be using all of this for this project because originally I was like, well, maybe I can double it and maybe one day I will, but I don't feel like actually busting out the sewing machine to do that. So we're just gonna do one layer and see how that works. And if I feel like I need to make it thicker, then I can just make another one and make it thicker. But that's pretty much all of the supplies that you need for this. If you want to know where to get it, I'll provide the links down below as to all the materials that I use and where to get it from. So first things first, what I'm going to do is try and line this up to line the paper up to the straight edge here, and I want to cut around it. Now, if you have a rotary cutter and a cutting board to put underneath, this would go a hell of a lot easier, but I do not have my rotary cutter. I don't know where it is, so we're just gonna kick it old school and just cut it with scissors. All right, so now we have our little piece of felt here. I'm not worried about absolute perfection. Nobody's really gonna see it except for me and sometimes you guys. But for the most part, it's just me, so I'm not worried about it being absolutely symmetrical right now. I just wanna try it. This is the first run, so I kinda wanna see how it goes. Now, typically you would fold it in half, mark where your center is. So you can kind of see those 2 dots where I just marked the center. Now, if you've done something like this, this is basically your pattern piece. So if you've done something basically like this, where you've already measured out where your center is and your 2 holes and where your 6 holes are going to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I'm going for a 3-string type of feel, and if I feel like I want to add something else, I can just jump band it. But you can take your owl. No, come back, guy. You can take your owl in your pattern piece and actually poke your holes in it. All right, now I'm going to put it back and line up my center line with my dots here that I put, my center dots. So, or if you are better at cutting than I am, you can just lay out your pattern piece. So let's see. There, there, and you can mark where your holes are. See? 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. It's all right if they're a smidge off. It's not gonna really matter. Now, I'm going to take my owl here and poke holes through the felt where I made those marks. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our elastic here and we're going to take our elastic and thread it through what's going to be the top part of your insert, converter, whatever, and put it through just a little bit, not all the way down, just a little bit. So this is like going to be the center where it ties at the end. Then you're going to take the other end of your elastic and you're going to thread it through this hole, this. Honestly, it doesn't matter if it's this hole or this hole. Just, I'm gonna thread it through this one though. So let me just. So on the back side, it looks like this. On the inside, it looks like this. Then I'm going to take this end again and I'm going to thread it through this hole right here. The hole that's on the opposite side, that's right underneath it. Then you're going to take it and bring it back through the center hole. So now your inside looks like this and your outside, so let me turn it this way. So now your inside looks like this and you have like a whole bunch of extra, and your outside looks like this. So you have this, this, and we're missing just 2 little holes. Okay, and then we're going to take this and bring this also through this center hole, which it's going to take a little bit of work. Hold on, I have to punch it with my owl again, try and get it through there, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Now we have our 2, and we're going to put it through our last hole here. So now we're looking at something like this, because this will be our third string. And you're going to bring it through this last hole on the bottom. It's a little off, like so. How tight or loose you want these strings is completely up to you. And then you're going to, seriously, bring it through the center hole again from the back side. It's for elastic. And this is the point where you tighten it as much as you want, loosen it as much as you want, and then figure out where you want it. And then you basically cut your elastic. I'm gonna use these guys because you don't need it anymore. I'm just gonna do like a little tentative knot because I don't know how. Well, I guess technically I want this a little tighter. Because now I am at 4. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna, there. I can tighten it up, loosen it up however I want. I don't want to make a big, huge knot. Okay, seriously, get in there. Basic, simple slip knot. And then there you have it. If you don't stop rolling away, there is the converter. So let's see how it will fit in the Airy cover. It's a little messy, This is very narrow, so let's see. It's a little, let's see. It's a little something right now. Let's see. 1. Maybe it's a little too tight. If that's the case, yeah, I think it's a little too tight. So let's loosen these up a bit. Because it's a little too much. So, come on. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot more slack. Center. And 1 in the back, and then for my, and that is it, yes? All right, so that's it. It does work. I think what's gonna have to happen is I need it to be thicker because it's not very, yeah, it's pretty thin. So what I think is gonna happen is I'm probably going to have to stitch 2 layers of this together, of this felt together, so it doesn't, so it's not as weak, so it's more structured, so it doesn't do the wrinkly dinkly things. I think that's what's probably going to have to happen here, because it works. It does a really good job of converting this cover into a traveler's notebook, so that way I have more space to put more notebooks. So it does what it's supposed to do. I just think that I need something sturdier than felt. And if I'm putting all 4 in there, it's actually peeking out a bit. I think it's a bit too, let me see. Let's see how you get this out. Maybe if I can adjust it. How do you get this out? I feel like I need to watch. Oh, there it is. It's like, how do you get this out? Like that. In case you're wondering and you ever have these and you want to know how to adjust it, you go through the back here and you pull it out and push it back in. I need like a tutorial. I guess I never paid attention to how you do, to how you adjust these. Okay, so that's as wide as that goes. See, like this is why. This felt's too thin, so it needs, I think, at least double layers, so it won't do that. But if it's like this, it's fine. So is it so thin that it can't move? Probably. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make one of these. I'm just gonna double layer it, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's just when it closes, it's wrinkly, you see? But it's giving what it's supposed to give. I close it, it's sticking out a little bit though. So maybe it does need more structure. Like, how do I get this? Because, do you see what I mean? How it like peeks out? Like, you can definitely tell from the back. But I can push it back in, but it won't stay because the fabric isn't structured enough. So I think this is phase 1. I think I will do this again and do it with 2 layers, and I'll update you guys. But I thought this was a very clever idea for anybody who's missing traveler's notebooks. Do you see? Like, this is what happens. Like, you open it and look at all that, look at that gappage. So if I can figure out a way to prevent all this gappage and get this to just stay up against the edge here, I think this would be pretty flipping clever. But because of how this is, because this is so thin and there's not enough structure or support, so all the weight of this is just gonna move it. So, but the concept is clutch. So maybe I need to make it longer. So definitely it needs to be longer, and it needs to have another extra layer, I think, to make it much more durable. Okay, see, I'm getting ideas, and that's probably what I'll do, because I do love the idea of having like a traveler's notebook again, but I love this cover. And I love like the price point of covers more than I do traveler's notebooks. And the fact that A5, like getting A5 size anything is ridiculously more expensive because it's like one of the biggest sizes. But if I could just find a way to use the covers that I have and still have the versatility of a traveler's notebook, I think that'd be great. I'll make some notes of this and I'll make another one, and I'll probably more likely update you guys to let you know how it's going. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this. Yeah, it definitely needs more structure because it's already like ripping through the felt. So 2 layers of felt plus interfacing, would that be too stiff? Or if you can find like a thicker wool felt, that would probably be be great too. But if you just buy like regular like felt, like you can buy individually, I don't think that'll be strong enough. My sewing expertise is showing, isn't it? Like I'm really going off on a tangent. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're new here, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you have, enjoyed this video, even just a little teeny weeny bit, like please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button so I can, beat this algorithm. I'm really fascinated with improving upon this design right now. like I really, yeah, I need to make notes. All right, let me close out this video before I space out or something, and get these notes down before I forget them. Until next week, thank you so much for joining me. Bye.